Okie dokie folkies, so the Thunderhawk has been introduced to some glue. I know, miracle, right? So we now have a complete top section. So this join has been glued together here, and I've glued the canopy on the front there. So I still need to go through here with some green stuff just to tidy up these gaps. But otherwise, one section, and we have the section on the back for the rocket booster as well. Not too worried about the gaps there because it's between two bolted pieces of iron there, so I can leave that gap and be reasonably happy with it. The bottom section, let's just take the nose cone off. Still have the lower fuselage as is. The nose cone, I had a spare Night Lord Rhino front, so I've sort of cut that down to mount on the front here, and I have glued the first part of the cockpit in. So this is a bit that goes right the way and slots into the front here. There's a nice little recess for it. So we have the pilot's chairs, the controls, and all the detail. Now this section, quite badly warped, so it's been attacked a few times with a hairdryer. Still not perfect, but it now fits within everything. So, still have your two locator slots on the front there, still have your two locator nubs in here. And what you want is for everything to locate in nicely, so that that still sits reasonably flush. And this section of floor comes inside the rails of your Thunderhawk. That I'm going to need to heat up and push back into this corner. And that is the start of your cockpit assembly. Okay, so the next parts that we need and that we're going to look at are one of the control consoles, one of the rear bulkheads, inner steps, one and two chairs, two pilots, two arms and joysticks, two joystick mounted consoles, inner roof bulkhead, whatever you want to call that, rear bulkhead, rear hatch, which I've attacked and taken an Aquila off, side doors, I'm using the Night Lord specific ones, and bolter rack, and two sets of ladders. So these are interior details. Right, and let's show you the dry fit of where this all goes. So we're going to start with the lower fuselage. The obvious one is your rear door into its recess there. Now this is going to need just a little bit of trimming to be a perfect fit, and the side doors quite obviously into their recesses, and again going to need a tiny bit of trimming for these to fit perfectly on both sides. So nothing's ever quite perfect, just needs a little bit of a trim. So that's those pieces sorted. Across the back wall on this side we have the bolter rack which fits in there, and this is going to need a little bit of straightening up with a hairdryer because it's a little bit warped and bent, but that goes into that gap and that recess there. And then we have the little bulkhead here with the ladder on the back and these fuse boxes. That goes there, or it will go once everything is all trimmed off and sorted. So that's a support there. The rear bulkhead here slots in just there. So that's the detailing for this side of the lower fuselage. For this side we have the bulkhead with the ladder. that goes there, and these steps just into the slot there. So as I said, this is just the dry fit so you can see where everything's going to go. I'll introduce the glue to all these parts in a little while. Okay, so that's lower fuselage. Let me clear all this out of the way. And let's take a look at everything once the top's put on. Okay, so I've put the nose cone and the cockpit section back on. You can still see that rear bulkhead and that little one there with the ladder. The other ladder would be coming up through this gap here. The stairwell comes up here, just to give you an idea. So, this control console with the L shape sits into this recess here. Okay, so that fits into there. This bulkhead goes in with its little locator slot there into this little hole here. So that locates like so. Not a perfect fit, but there you go. And this is what I was talking about, that rear ceiling. Little slot cut out there, some detailing on the bottom. Fits across these. Whoop. Again, this is a dry fit, so it will probably fall at some point, but it fits across it like so. So when you look through the front of the craft, through the hatch, you can see this section underneath here, and you can see up into this section here. So I want to try and install some lighting somewhere in here to illuminate it all as you look in. That's going to be a project that I'm going to be having a chat with Templars Crusade about. So from there, our two chairs, once we've cut them down, slot into these two locator holes there. So I might try and wire together a servitor to sit here, or just casually leave a helmet on one of the chairs, do something like that. The pilots, I think it's fairly obvious where these two go. So we have our two pilots, focus in, blooming cameras. Now I'm probably going to change one of the bodies. I'll keep this guy with his holster and his comm set on. This one I'm probably going to change his top half for an actual Mark IV body, but they slot into their seats there. I'm leaving them on the runs just so they're easier to paint at the moment. The arms for them, obviously, shoulders to shoulders. The consoles fit into the gap there. You are also given some of the joysticks, the control sticks, without arms attached, if you wanted to maybe have just the one pilot in there and one guy sat on one of these chairs at the back of the control console. In fact, I might do that. That'd make things a little bit different. Just have one pilot and one guy at the back. Actually, yeah, I quite like the sound of that. I think that's probably what I'm going to do. And last but not least, I said we have these consoles here, these little readouts that sit on top of your joysticks. So the joystick on the top has this little slot, which these locate into like that. So it's a readout on the actual joystick for your pilot to look at. That's the dry fit of this lot. So what I'm going to do soon is start attacking it with bits of glue, and then making sure that the top fuselage still slots nicely over the top of this. If it doesn't, a little bit of time with the hairdryer on it just to expand the walls, and we'll be laughing. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm hoping that you're liking what I'm doing with this so far, and I'm going to go have a chat with Brian now, good old Templars Crusade 01, and see what we can do about lighting the inside of this. Catch you in a bit, folks. Take care, stay safe, and have fun. Bye.